Good morning, Princess. It is still morning, a very brisk and breezy morning here in Celebration. It is cold again. Yesterday it was actually very nice. Low 80s, maybe mid 80s in the sun. It was definitely much warmer. And I took the opportunity to go and just kind of hang out at Aquatica. Didn't go in the water or the water slides or anything like that. I actually had a coupon for $10 for something, so figured I'd just go and hang out at the bar for an hour or two. Anyway, that was nice. Closest thing I've had to a sea day in over a year. Didn't record anything, just wanted to relax. Then dinner at Disney Springs, but today is must be a more productive day. Have a number of domestic issues to take care of. Number one is getting my ID and parking stickers finally for Celebration, so I can maybe visit a pool when it warms up, or go to the big gym, which is actually further than I thought, so I have to take a trip over there. All right, I am on foot now, going for a walk after dinner last night. Need it, so let's get it all started. Just to give you an idea of how windy it is, that's it. It is a good 15-20 miles per hour, and it is cold. I'm not dressed for this. Of course, being on the other side of the lake doesn't help. Got my car taken care of, the parking passes, that all went very, very smoothly. So, off to do errands, and the first thing I need to get reminded yesterday at Aquatica is sunscreen. Didn't bring any with me, and I think the only one I left in Omni. So, I am trying to go to trying to go there, but now I can't get there. It's fine. I just made my successful stop at CVS. Not my favorite place in the world, and wasn't worth showing you because I'm sure Mommy drags you there all the time with Grandma. So yeah, I figured we'll just skip that. I'm on my way now to IKEA again because I want to see if I can find the lights for the umbrella out in the backyard or on the patio. I've been looking for them for about 2 months now, and they're either out of stock or I can't find them. And today is going to be a mission to find these stupid lights. So hopefully I will find them. I also want to get a shelf because I need a shelf. How's that? So, mission continues. After IKEA is Costco, and then got to figure out what to do for lunch. But now for today, I don't know why I was reminded of this recently, but I thought it was really interesting. A few months ago during some turmoil, which I will talk to you about later, got into a little online discussion with someone who, well, let's just say has a very narrow understanding of certain historical events, especially related to certain paramilitary organizations. And, well, I pointed this out because it's very important that people understand, the truth of what happened and the truth of certain people today. And they didn't like to hear this. And, of course, people don't like being told they are wrong, and they are wrong. And I made my usual assertions with the foundational evidence, and the response was, yes, show me your references to original sources only. Huh? Okay, now here's the thing. You're going to be debating people a lot in life, and everything is a debate. A negotiation actually is a debate, and knowing how to do this effectively is a very, very important life skill. And I figured this is a good one to talk about because it is a way to sort of suss out your opponent, and there's always an opponent, very, very quickly. So when somebody does something like this, right, by saying, original sources only, there's two primary reasons that they would do this. And both indicate, by the way, that you have already essentially won, right? So I knew as soon as I read that I was engaging somebody who does not have what it takes to win this argument. And sometimes it's hard to tell. Either they know they're going into a debate from a losing position and they're doing something like this from a defensive posture, or they're going into a debate from a comically overconfident position. Or maybe I should say an unjustified confidence is what they have. So here I am at IKEA. For whatever reason, the GPS gave some really complicated directions to get here, coming around the backside of the mall over there. It's very strange. Every other time it's been fairly straightforward, but this time it wasn't. But I am here, so I'm going to go look for my shelf. I am going to look for something on the app first and then go get it, because that means I will just be picking up 3 items, so I can just go grab them without having to wander around, and don't have to be in here any longer than I need to be, because this is not the last stop. That did not go as planned, because while I'm sure I checked inventory, they did not have the shelf that I wanted. There was a couple of other ones, but they're much more expensive, so I figure I'll just maybe go to Miami or whatever. I'll figure it out. I did get a couple things, though, that I think will be very useful, so wasn't a total loss. At least, well, at least there's that. Anyway, the first one, the defensive measure, right? So when somebody is going to start a conversation or enter a debate when they know that they are kind of at a disadvantage, they'll throw up these barriers. And by saying original sources is an attempt to set arbitrary rules that only benefit them by allowing them to disqualify, discredit things that you might bring up simply on their convenience or at their convenience. That's all it is, okay? This is an argument fallacy, and there's a whole bunch of other ones that a lot of people try to employ, but you gotta recognize it and then you can deal with it. Now, what might this look like? Well, here's an example, maybe an extreme example, but it is an accurate example. So you're discussing someone with something and something with something. You're discussing something with someone and you say, oh yes, well, because 2 + 2 is 4, and then that leads us to, and they'll say, stop, no. What do you mean? And you need to cite the original source for that. That's how ridiculous it is. And you will say, well, there's literally hundreds of textbooks and everything else that pretty much explain that 2 + 2 = 4. And they will say, oh, no. I don't know, you need to reference the original Phoenician proof. No, you don't. So it's basically an arbitrary barrier they're putting up in hopes of convincing you that, arguing your point is too difficult, or, and this never works when you know what you're doing, they're trying to get you to question yourself, right? So if you cannot find these original sources, maybe you're wrong. It is I don't want to say a clever trick, because honestly, I recognized it immediately, so it was kind of obvious. But unfortunately, a lot of people might kind of go along with it. Don't let them push you around, okay? Remember, when they try this, you've already won. Now, the sad part about this is when somebody does something like this, it's because, they know they don't know a little bit, and deep down inside, they're afraid to learn new information because it will upset them. It will upset their narrative, really. And they are so close-minded in order to protect themselves. And it's very sad. And honestly, people like this aren't worth dealing with, because, you'll just never get them to reason a response. It's always just going to be, I don't know, just random hysteria. It's funny, by the way. But yeah, when I encounter people like this, they're not people that I really want to associate with. So you can make your own judgment, though. I made it to my next stop, Costco. Just gonna pick up a few things that will store well, either non-perishable, room temperature kind of things, or maybe some frozen things. I do want to see what kind of PB2 options they have, because the only thing they have at Publix is PB2, which is great, but only small containers, and I go through them very, very quickly. Gotta find a parking space, and yes, I do have all the requisite cards with me, so we will not be repeating that disaster again. And I will not be getting anything from the cafe today, although the pizza was really, really good. Okay, Princess, this is my very successful Costco haul. And yeah, I know, it's not very much of a haul, but remember, I am alone here. But whenever you go through the self-checkout line, it's not really self-checkout line, but pro tip, if you arrange everything with the barcodes already facing up, it takes the associate about 15 seconds to scan everything. Then just tap the card, the touchless card, and you're done. It's like 30 seconds. I think I did really well at Costco. Got a bunch of things that I'd actually been looking for a while, but hadn't seen yet. One of them was the frozen tubes of ground beef. And I was looking for those specifically. They don't have them, I don't think, at Publix anymore, because I remember them again from my childhood. And well, great-grandma Lucille, great-grandma Lucille would get those, and that's where she got most of her ground beef, unless she went to the butcher for actual beef patties for hamburgers. So I have my childhood ground beef. I'm so excited. I know, wow. Okay, so the computer says 20 minutes back to the place, and I gotta store all this stuff up, get these things in the freezer, and plan out the rest of my day. At some point, I have to work out, because I did it this morning, and then figure out how to charge the car, because I'm gonna head to Busch Gardens tomorrow and enjoy some of the Mardi Gras treats that they are having. It is Mardi Gras season, and Busch Gardens is first, so they're going to run their festival for, I think, 3 or 4 more weeks, and then next month, Universal begins their Mardi Gras festival. So looking forward to all of that after I put the groceries away. Something I don't really remember seeing too much in Miami, and that's a Super Target. Maybe try that sometime. Back on the road, heading Celebration. And the second reason that I've come up with is I'll call irrational confidence. And I think that might have been this case. And you will frequently find that in academia. Either actual academic types or students, either undergraduates, recent graduates, or something like that. For whatever reason, academia gives people this like weird sense of confidence without having proven it, and even worse, they don't feel the need to justify themselves, or they don't feel the need to prove it themselves. The letters at the end of their name apparently are supposed to do the talking for them. They don't. They absolutely do not. I have learned, especially recently, over the last, 15, 20 years, that just because somebody has fancy degrees or anything like that does not in any way make them smarter than anybody else. In fact, most often, they're worse off. I'm sorry, because the university system these days is just, it's crazy. First of all, here's a little secret. It's a business. It's a big business. The students are just their customers, and despite all the academia rhetoric and everything, they're out to make money. That's it. So there's nothing sacred about it. They're just cranking out people with degrees, and they're cranking out a lot of dumb people with degrees. So in this case, I think this person may have just graduated, so this whole like original sources might have been something that came up in class or something, or it might have been some philosophy, whatever, figures. and they thought, oh, I'm going to learn this fancy thing from school, or I'm going to use this fancy thing I learned in school, and it just sounds dumb. So it leads them to that sort of irrational confidence, and I don't know, it's fun playing with these people, you know, because you can easily upset them, and when they get upset, you know you have won. They might try to continue, they don't usually, because they usually somehow realize it's better to cut and run, but once they start to, well, basically call you names, because, well, they will, then that's it, it's over. And sometimes you just have to take the satisfaction of being right, and that's it. You're never, well, I would say you're probably not going to convince them, because again, new information is very upsetting, and honestly, I'll tell you, academic types are probably more closed-minded than anybody else because of that irrational confidence. So when they do that, when they call you names, when they walk away or whatever in a huff, or when they lecture you about how smart they are, then you have won, and you can walk away happy and actually confident that you beat them. All right, well, it's probably about now 10-15 minutes more back to the place, and I don't know, it's later than I thought it was. I think I'm gonna watch Rise of Skywalker tonight. I know I'm saying this near the end, well, but maybe I'm not sure, because I don't know if I want anybody to know this, so I will deny it. I'm just sharing this with you, okay? So let's try and keep it a secret. Yes, future me again, because I forgot to say goodbye. After that fun, actually, yeah, day of doing errands all over the place, but the thing is, I don't really like that. It's, don't tell mommy or grandma, well, they already know. I don't like going shopping or anything like that. So I went out, I found exactly, mostly, what I was looking for, and then I head back to the place, and because I went like 4 different places, that whole trip was just exhausting, because there's just so many things to look at, so many things to choose, all brought to us by the miracle of the free economy, that actually picking something is very strenuous. But that is why I am thankful for my problems.